Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. It may still be fall, but road crews are already preparing for the colder months ahead. WYMT's Dakota Makris explains how nearly 2,100 Kentucky Transportation Cabinet staff and crew members are planning to keep our roads safe.
Roads are dry Monday afternoon, but crews are ready to hit the ground running whenever snow makes its way into the forecast.
The possibility of the S word, or I guess probably the F word, flurries, is probably being discussed for this Thanksgiving.
H.B. Elkins with the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet District 10 says crews are well trained.
Our people are in the process now of inspecting and calibrating the equipment, making any repairs that are necessary, getting ready to go.
Along with the state stockpiling more than 300,000 tons of salt and 1 million gallons of brine, all ready to go wherever it is needed most.
And we do have the capability of moving stuff from county to county or from district to district across the state.
The state doubling its fleet of tow plows, which can clear 2 lanes at once, saying they are always looking to advance their technology.
Punch a button in the truck and the chains descend and wrap around the tires, and you don't have to get out and crawl around in the weather or under the truck in the garage.
Feeling confident heading into the winter. In Perry County, Dakota Makris, WYMT Mountain News.
Hopefully you won't see scenes like that anytime soon. Transportation officials say to stay home during a winter storm, but if you must head out, pay attention to your speed and make sure you can clearly see.
Speaking of winter weather, you don't want to miss our winter weather outlook special coming up tonight right here on WYMT at 7 o'clock. And of course, we'll have a sneak peek coming up in about a half hour or so on Mountain News at 6. But first, while we've all been busy with winter weather outlook here in the weather department, Brandon Robinson was a busy man today. Second of 2 weather classes he had earlier on today. Weather class for 6th grade at Girdler Elementary School. A great group of kids there. So it was an exciting trip for him out into Knox County today, all over the county, as he had this. That was the second, like I said, of 2 weather classes today. Great group of kids there. I-75 at Mount Vernon as the sun sets. The farther west we go, the clearer those skies get, which means the faster the temperature is going to fall later on tonight. You see just about everybody, with the exceptions of Ashland, Jacksboro, Tennessee, Middlesboro, and Jonesville, all sitting in the upper 30s, even a few mid-30s already out there. Irvin at 36, Pikeville also at 36. A clean sweep on Pinpoint Doppler at the moment, and that looks to continue as we head through the next couple of days. However, the cloud cover still with us, though working out, which means it's going to get quite a bit drier and quite a bit cooler as we head into the nighttime hours. We are near freezing as we head to bed, and a lot of us are going to be waking up in the low to mid-20s in the morning. A chilly start to our Tuesday. I'll have the latest on when we could see some rain showers return and how close to Thanksgiving those will be coming up in just a minute. Steve?
Evan, thank you. The official holiday shopping season gets underway Friday. Of course, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Black Friday deals are already out, though, in some stores, but can retailers keep up with demand? Shop Local Kentucky is one of many Lexington businesses gearing up for the holiday shopping season. Co-owner Rick Painter says he's looking forward to having customers back in his stores this winter after only offering online shopping during this time last year due to the pandemic.
For us, for the holiday season, we hope to make people smile. That's the goal of our business in general, is that when people come in that they feel welcome, and especially since they're coming out probably for the first time since the pandemic.
Due to the supply chain issues, business owners advise shoppers to get out to stores early this year to ensure they can check all the items they need off their lists. Several Kentucky airports, like the Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport, comes into its busiest season with more airlines, more flights, and easily more passengers than last year. Airline workers warn passengers to stay mindful as airline staffing shortages could cause cancellations and delays. Valerie Sublett flew home from Florida today, so her group of 14 could avoid the rush.
I'm definitely a little more crowded. Yeah, a lot of typical attitudes.
TSA security staffing is also a concern. Thanksgiving flight bookings for 2021 are slightly outpacing pre-COVID 2019. A Central Kentucky food pantry is getting another big donation after its building burned. Christian Appalachian Project donated thousands of pounds of food to the Garrett County Food Pantry. Police charged a woman with setting the building on fire. The fire destroyed all of its food. Food pantry leaders say they will make sure people are fed through the holidays and in the time it takes them to build a new building. In 2016, chaos erupted at the Louisville Pegasus Parade when 2 teens opened fire during that parade. 2 other teens, a 17-year-old boy and a 14-year-old girl, were shot and survived. Now, following the events that occurred this weekend in Wisconsin, which we will have more on in a moment, Mayor Greg Fisher in Louisville says the city is doing everything they can to make sure Light Up Louisville is safe.
In terms of traffic control, we harden access to these events like this with garbage trucks and other big vehicles that can't be moved so that we can make sure that there's not, a vehicular threat.
Mayor Fisher said city leaders had a staff meeting this morning. The special events team was already working on safety measures along with LMPD on limiting access to streets. Now back to the Commonwealth in Kentucky's search warrant task force meeting is meeting again in Frankfort. The group was put together by Attorney General Daniel Cameron to review the state's search warrant policies after the death of Breonna Taylor. She was shot and killed by Louisville police when they were serving a warrant at her apartment. Victor Puente has the latest from today's meeting.
Attorney General Daniel Cameron plans to use the findings from this group to make recommendations to lawmakers and the courts. The task force was formed more than a year after the death of Breonna Taylor. Today, they discussed steps such as an online portal so the public can know their rights if they have their home searched.
Policies and procedures in search warrants, their rights, what to do after a search warrant if your home is torn up or if your windows are busted out, where do you go from here?
They also talked about concerns over threat assessment and the roles prosecutors play when it comes to warrants. One judge said no matter who wrote a warrant, a judge would still have the final say on if it could be executed.
One idea brought up for those search warrants was bringing along a social worker if children could be present. But a sheriff who's on that committee said that might not work.
They are overrun with work and overly overwhelmed with the amount of work that they have.
He said the current policy, known as Handle with Care, is designed to help those children.
We take and notify the school system that we should handle this child with care. We don't say what the event was because that would be a privacy violation, or we believe it would, but we do notify the school something happened, handle this child with care.
Still, the group agreed letting social workers know when a child has been present for a search warrant could be beneficial for those children. In Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
That group did not vote on recommendations today. They plan on doing that at their next meeting, which is December 9th. Now for news across the country, beginning with the latest on the Ahmaud Arbery court case happening in Brunswick, Georgia. Closing arguments took place at that trial today. 65-year-old Gregory McMichael, his 35-year-old son Travis, and 52-year-old William Roddy Bryan all have pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, aggravated assault, and false imprisonment. Prosecutors said the McMichaels had no reason to pursue Arbery.
You have to have more than stale information from an unreliable source. A citizen's arrest is for emergency situations when the crime really happens right in front of you and you can take action right then and there to arrest somebody.
10 days of testimony concluded last week. We are learning new information about that Christmas parade tragedy in Wisconsin we mentioned earlier. Police say 39-year-old Daryl Brooks plowed into a crowd, killing at least 5 people and injuring more than 40 others. Members of the Dancing Grannies Club were among those killed. Investigators say Brooks was involved in a domestic disturbance just minutes before the crash. At least 6 children are in critical condition. 3 more are in serious condition. Investigators say they do not suspect terrorism. It's not even Thanksgiving yet, but the White House is already putting up its Christmas tree. Today, the White House Christmas tree was officially presented at the White House. It comes from Peak Farms in Ashe County, North Carolina. This is the third time the farm has won a national competition where one of its trees was selected as the official White House Christmas tree. The farm's owner, Russell Estes, talks about why his trees keep standing out.
Is North Carolina Fraser fir. That's the bottom line. Any of our mountain counties, I just happen to live in Ashe County, but we have the Fraser fir is native to North Carolina. It is the Cadillac of Christmas trees.
Peak Farms trees were selected as White House Christmas trees under the Bush administration in 2008, the Obama administration in 2012, and one was also selected for former Vice President Mike Pence's home during the Trump administration. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, fake business email addresses are tricking people into sending big payments to the wrong person. Coming up, a warning from the FBI.
And it's a nice start to the week, but what about as we get closer to Thanksgiving? I'll have the full breakdown straight ahead.